Hello, and welcome to the Virtualization edition of Tech Fundamentals brought to you by Emulex. This is Pei-Chin Chang, and thank you for tuning in. So first of all, what is virtualization? Well, back in the day, most servers ran only a single application. Applications such as a web server, email server, database server, or other back-office services such as DHCP and DNS server that enable your desktop or laptop to connect to the internet. The main reasons to break the applications into their own dedicated servers include, first of all, different requirements for performance, and second, for fault isolation. A DNS server uses very few CPU resources, but if it goes down, the impact is pretty broad. Additionally, some services may be better suited for one operating system, like Linux. So, as we move forward, companies such as VMware have developed software that enables all of these applications and operating systems to peacefully coexist on a single server. That software is called a hypervisor. Each instance of the guest operating system is called a virtual machine. So depending on the workload, typical organizations will aggregate 5 to 20 virtual machines onto a single high-performance server. In extreme cases, we've heard consolidation as high as 70 or over 100 VMs per server. Now, you might ask yourself, what happens if this big server gets brained? In a virtualized environment, it seems that you're putting a lot of eggs in just a few baskets. What happens to all of these VMs? Do they go away? Well, that is one of the big advantages of virtualization. If you can configure a pool of physical servers where other physical machines can pick up the load in case of a catastrophic event. In this diagram, you can see 3 physical servers running a total of 11 virtual machines. Say, for example, server 3 experiences an unscheduled maintenance event. Using vMotion and VMware ESX or similar technologies in other hypervisors, the virtual machines that were running on server 3 automatically gets migrated onto servers 1 and 2. You might ask, how about the data that's stored on the hard drives on server 3? Well, the solution to that is real simple. It's to use a network-attached storage or a storage area network. We'll get into more detail on that in a few slides. The other big benefit that CIOs are most interested in is money. You save because you buy less stuff, fewer servers, fewer accessories, etc. With fewer servers, you also save because you have to run less air conditioning, use less electricity, and you have lower management overhead. On the previous slide, we discussed reliability as a major reason to deploy a virtualized server environment. For many mission-critical services or very important but not mission-critical services, primary and backup servers are often deployed to maintain continuity of service. This means 2 or more physical servers. Using the VM migration technology, much of the redundant hardware can be eliminated. So you probably have heard about the major solution providers of hypervisors or virtualization software. I won't go into the details of each of them, but just know that for the most part, they all work the same way. The major differences are the tool sets available for provisioning and managing the virtual machines. We can all figure out that more memory and more CPU power may be required to run all of those virtual machines. But more often than not, upgrading the CPU and memory is all part of the normal IT infrastructure upgrade process anyways. As you or your customer is speccing out this new hardware, you should also consider that your I/O might also need upgrading. There isn't much sense if you upgrade your CPU and memory but end up trying to feed all that data through a tiny little pipe. VMware and most other hypervisors recommend a minimum of 4 1 gig pipes. These pipes support console traffic, like remote video, mouse, keyboard, that kind of thing, regular networking traffic, storage traffic, and this back channel that's used to ensure everything keeps running. The same back channel is used if a virtual machine has to be moved from one server to another. Oftentimes, IT administrators will double up on LAN storage pipes to provide greater bandwidth and performance. In enterprise IT environments, the requirement is double for network redundancy reasons. 10 gig Ethernet has the ability to carve up that big fat pipe in a bunch of smaller pipes. You still get the manageability of multiple compartmentalized streams, but you save significantly on switch ports and cabling. Emulex enables this division of pipe through a technology called Universal Multi-Channel, or UMC. For information regarding Universal Multi-Channel and its ability to offer manageability and visibility into the different data streams, please contact your local friendly Emulex sales rep. The thing to note here is that using 1 gig technology, enterprise customer frequently deploys 6 or more 1 gig connections to a single server. Well, that means 6 sets of cables, 6 ports consumed on the switch, and other stuff. With rapidly dropping 10 gig adapter and switch prices, the 10 gig solutions may be more cost effective in many enterprise environments. It is also very straightforward to understand that you will get a lot more performance out of a single 10 gig solution as compared to a bunch of little 1 gig pipes. So to make things simple for you guys, whenever you hear a customer asking about 10 gig networking, virtualization, or VMware, you should think Emulex. Emulex 10 gig Ethernet adapters products have capabilities that make it particularly easy to deploy and manage servers in a virtualized environment. Technologies such as Universal Multi-Channel, as we discussed earlier, as well as VMware vCenter plugins, which allow administrators to manage their Emulex adapters from within the VMware control panel. So just remember, 10 gig networking, virtualization, and VMware equals Emulex. Last, I want to leave you with one simple question. One question that can dramatically increase your margins and increase your sales. Whenever you hear those keywords, 10 gig networking, virtualization, or VMware, just ask the question, have you considered 10 gig Ethernet for your virtual server environment? There's a general impression that 10 gig Ethernet is very expensive, so people don't even consider it. 10 gig Ethernet switch and adapter pricing have both dropped dramatically in the recent months, so it may be time to take another look, particularly for enterprise customers. So to wrap it all up, if you have any questions or would like someone from Emulex to jump on a call to discuss networking, drop me a line at the email address or phone number above. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Tech Fundamentals, and happy selling.